Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Finish Fans. Today, we're talking about Riversong, a friend of the family. Once again, I am joined with Luke.
Yeah, here I am once again. I never really quite know what to say at this point. It's like,
Yeah, you just,
well,
yes, I'm still here.
yeah, I'm here. I've been here for about 2 years now.
You've
Been a good,
stuck.
been a good 2 years.
It's not ending.
No,
This isn't the last one.
no, definitely not. We've
Definitely
got
not.
quite a lot planned.
Yes.
Oh, I just got a notification on my phone telling me that we're live.
I hope we're live, or otherwise we're just going to be talking to ourselves, which is fine.
Shouting into the void.
Literally. Yeah, well, wait for people to join. What have you been doing? How have you been keeping yourself busy?
Watching The Last of Us.
Yes.
We've been going with that because you've started that now as well, haven't you?
I have. If you haven't checked it out, do it because it's some of the best telly.
It's so brilliant at the moment. And I mean, a couple of days until episode 3 now. We'll be a third of the way through it already.
Yeah, and then I think season 2's just been confirmed today.
Yeah, it has. That season 2's coming.
Very exciting.
Hardly surprising because it's been a very positive reaction to what we've had so far. So I can see why they want to get in front of that and say what's coming.
And it's very faithful to like the game as well. So it's doing better than Game of Thrones.
Like in ways you couldn't possibly imagine as well. Like just how authentic it feels to the game is incredible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I finished re-listening to The Outlaws.
Lovely.
Just the 4-parter, not the whole box set.
Okay.
I'm gonna get around to the miniaturist at some point, but
you've got time. You've got time.
Yeah, that'll be re-listened to before Demon Song comes along, I'm sure. But for now, we've had quite a few new releases recently, which I finally got around to buying.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm cracking on with Time War 5 at the moment, Cass, which we'll be talking about next Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, next Wednesday it'll be Cass.
Yeah, switching the night for 1 week only. Well,
1 week
not
only.
1 week only, but
yeah.
Certainly moving away from our comfortable Friday slot just for a little bit.
Yeah, and then we'll announce a full schedule of what's coming up. Probably after that, really, I think.
Yeah, I imagine so.
How we're moving forward.
Because we have been planning away, haven't we? Got a few pre-records planned. One already in the can, actually, which we're in the process of editing. What we think of season 9, pretty much.
Yeah, what we think of season 9. It's half an hour of us just going, yeah, season 9's coming to Blu-ray. It's a bit exciting, isn't it, really? So we'll save our thoughts for that. If you want to know what we think of it, I'll be a tease.
Yeah, that was pretty... Well, I think everyone knows it's going to be fairly positive thoughts.
yeah.
We do love a bit of Pertwee.
Only right as well. It feels like a long time coming, and it makes our prediction correct so far. So we'll see how long that lasts.
They are 1 for 14 at the moment.
Hey, we're doing all right.
But that was pretty much just how we spent last night, wasn't it, really? We got together after that announcement and had a good little chinwag about it.
And then planned a future Big Finish series. So that'll be dropping probably late February, March time, I would say, when we get onto it.
Probably. Yeah. It's not anything quite as epic in size as the Regeneration Advent Calendar series. But hopefully it has maybe a bit of a wider appeal.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. But other than that, just working, really. That's about how my past week's been. How about yours?
Finally got some new dollies. The Regeneration set dropped, which very nice. Done a full review on it. 14th Doctor figure, a lot better in person. And it's nice to have. I don't know if it's because it's David Tennant, but I feel like a big kid again. Going, it feels like childhood. having a new David Tennant figure.
Just
has
probably
that.
not the only one we're gonna get, is it?
Yeah, I imagine we'll probably get one with the glasses, one without the coat. So
I think isn't in the sculpting of the current one, it's like made for that same inner sculpt to be used for just a waistcoat version.
yeah, because the jacket isn't plugged in like the Fifth Doctor or Sixth Doctor. So you can remove it if you want. Not that you want to, because why? If character options are doing it, there's no point doing a custom.
I wonder if they'll come along with a Power of the Doctor, 5th and 7th Doctor at some point, and 8th even.
I mean that's doable, really. Because you've just
Yeah.
got to think new head, and that's it, really.
Push
That'd
a
be a
bit more
nice little free
plastic
pack.
into the mold so that it expands a bit.
I mean, they were going to do a Time Crash Davison, but I don't think they
Yeah.
could get it right.
Ah.
But yeah.
And then you can have your little Davo figure. You can
Little
stick on a little chair, have a little microphone in front of me, recording his Big Finish.
Oh, that'd be nice. And then we can have it as like a little mascot.
Yeah. And then they could always re-release those as like the holographic ones as well.
Yeah, they could actually.
them
Yeah,
both
there
out
we
of the mold.
go. You're sounding like Hasbro here with like the Carbonize and Credit collection. Do the hologram collection.
I mean, like they're not already doing it with their hologram Ninth Doctor and regular Ninth Doctor in the same set.
Yeah.
They're two different head molds there, aren't they?
Yeah, one's the old sculpt and the other's a brand new one. So it's all good.
Evening, guys. Evening, Joe Bowers. Thank you for joining us. Daniel Hager, the Second Doctor fan. On my podcast, I'll be talking about my favourite episodes from the John Pertwee era in 2 weeks' time.
Very exciting.
We love some John Pertwee here.
Yeah, have to send it our way because it'd be interesting to know what your favourites are.
But we will judge you on them.
I won't go that far.
No. I mean, any choice of Pertwee as a favourite is a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Other than that, I did a throwback listen.
Oh, which one did you go back to?
I did Cradle of the Snake.
Oh, have you finished that one?
I have. And I tell you what, it feels so strange going back to the main range. Because I've not listened to a main range in about a year.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be about the same for me, actually.
Because there's so much new stuff coming out, you don't get the chance to go, I fancy going back to some stories. So it was nice to check it out, really. And it does feel like a missing TV story because it kind of makes the Mara stuff a trilogy.
Yeah. I believe there was plans for a trilogy on TV, wasn't there?
I think so, yeah. It makes sense.
I think, was it Children of Seth was sort of an adaptation of what would have been the third Mara story, but I think they dropped the Mara from that lost story.
I've not listened to that one. I've listened to The Elite and Hexagoria. That's the one I've not listened to, the Fifth Doctor Lost Stories.
Yeah, it does sort of feel like season 21 should have had a Mara story and completed a trilogy there.
And then Tegan go out in that.
Yeah, that would have been a fitting one for her to leave in.
Because with Cradle of the Snake, you go back to Minutia, which is the planet Snake dances on. But before they originally went, so it shows the decline of the society before the Mara touched it and destroyed it, basically. So it's really interesting, really good story.
It gets to be like in a more more like a modern setting in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a more technologically advanced setting, whereas a lot of the Mara story, both Mara stories on TV, are sort of quite more I don't want to say primitive because that's almost derivative of
more simple life.
Yeah. I mean, that uses a lot of the camera as well, doesn't it? Like capturing the image of evil and such.
Yeah,
from memory.
It's all good stuff.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of the main range, that's nearly 2 years since that went now.
Yeah, goodness, yeah.
March 2021 was when what was that release called by Robert Valentine?
End of the Beginning.
Yeah, that's it. That's when it wrapped up. So yeah, this time 2 years ago, we'd have been tucking into Colony of Fear.
Yeah, and then sort of a nice precursor to the season 6B stuff, really.
Yeah, it is. But that'd be interesting to go back to after we've had a couple more Michael Troughton ones to see how well that sets that up.
Do you think it is like a wink and nod to Beyond War Games, or do you just think it was the writer just going, I fancy just putting a story in between that gap?
I think it was a bit of both, really. I think Big Finish had plans for it, but they weren't really. This doesn't really relate to those plans. I don't think we'll see a certain character from this story popping up with
Yeah.
Second Doctor anytime soon. I don't think that's where they go with it, especially because like you wouldn't set something like that up in the main range as it's on its way out to then bring into your relaunch where you want everything to be fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder if from the Doctor's point of view, either sixth or later, they'll ever work out the mystery of the fact that their second incarnation had this whole other life they don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because certainly it's sort of like, I suppose problem is you've got the TV series, well, not currently, but it did have a whole similar arc with the Time Lords hiding the Doctor's memories from them, didn't it?
Yes, yeah. And where Joe Martin fits in there, and yeah.
Yeah, so would it be too much for Big Finish to basically do the same thing again? But we'll see.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see their take on it, because I don't think we're going to get more of it on screen.
No. I mean, certainly I think we'll get something along those lines with the Joe Martin stuff, won't we?
I'd hope so, because I want the Joe Martin stuff to be not atypical Doctor Who.
Yeah. I mean, also the fact that it's tied in with the Annihilators now makes you wonder, would the Doctor have already got a hint of it then as well? Because he did sort of in their discussions realise that this was a bit of an odd point in the second Doctor's life. I mean, I think that would be nice to sort of have a callback to the two Doctors and have the sixth Doctor in a story with Michael Troughton as the second Doctor.
Yeah,
And
that'd be nice.
Have that be sort of like a crossover where the Doctor finds out about these missing years proper.
It's like a counsellor, and they have to go to therapy going, well, I've not been honest with you, but I've kind of lived a secret life.
I mean, isn't that conflict theory?
Oh,
We've already taken the sixth Doctor to therapy.
yeah.
Well, wasn't there a bit of that at the 11 as well?
I think so.
So that first episode, I vaguely remember that's sort of like in a hospital setting, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, hello, Stylish One. Thank you for joining us, brother. And Joe Bauer's been doing a marathon of Doctor Who lately and was surprised how terrible ambassadors looked. Phew.
Oh, thank goodness.
For a second there. Apart from episodes 1 and 5, hopefully they can improve it before the collection set. Yeah, I mean, they've been working wonders with the collection so far, so I imagine we'll get a good improvement on that one. Yeah, certainly season 7, it's probably where the hardest work has to be done.
I think the longer they leave it, the better.
Yeah, as their techniques improve and technology develops.
Because like you look how season 8 looks compared to the DVDs, it's night and day.
I'm pretty sure there's quite a few people who have put up little comparison videos on YouTube, isn't there? So they're always worth checking out.
And this might be a bit of a wild card, but since they're recolorizing black and white, can we just recolorize the episodes?
Yeah, that's true. Probably a good way to improve it. Because certainly you do get a bit of color bleed sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, with like the chroma dots.
Yeah, as the image distorts and such. Also, Ambassadors does sort of look a little washed out. There's like that one particular shot of General Carrington and some other dude in the bushes as they're watching Mars probe like be found by the Doctor and unit. And just that particular shot of them in the bushes is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it is, yeah, it's so grainy. And it does feel like subtly the pixel count has dropped for like one shot and then it goes back up again.
Yeah, it's a bit like Invasion of the Dinosaurs or Invasion. The black and white's a higher quality than the colorization, hence why the colors, a special feature, as it were.
Yeah.
So I guess they didn't do the black and white option for it, really.
No. But mate, then you get around to Mind of Evil, and on DVD that does look very good. It looks even better on Blu-ray, but that doesn't look too bad on DVD. So
it's weird because Ambassadors and Mind of Evil were pretty much a couple months behind each other, because I think Ambassadors was October 2012, and then Mind of Evil was, I think, May 2013.
yeah, it was the last Pertwee, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the last Pertwee.
Yeah, certainly. I think a lot of Pertwees got released late in the day, didn't they? And there was quite
Well,
a
they
few
all got
special
special
editions.
editions.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely must be the doctor with the most special editions.
Yeah, because you'd have Green Death. Well, I think pretty much bar like Frontier and Planet were the only stories from like season 10 not to get special editions.
Yeah, so you got Spearhead, that got a special edition, and then later
Yeah.
on a Blu-ray.
Mm.
Inferno.
Yeah.
Claws of Axos.
Mm-hmm.
Season 9 didn't have any special editions actually.
No, go away.
No.
I guess because they were quite later on releases, I think.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're all like the white to entertain logo, aren't they?
Yeah.
Those ones. I think Sea Devils was the first one of those, and I think you can sort of tell like that does look a bit off at times in terms of the restoration. So that's gonna look great on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it will do.
Yeah. So then it's Three Doctors, Carnival of Monsters. They were both in different revisitation sets, weren't they?
Yeah, one was 2 and Three Doctors was Revisitations 3, then the other was Second Carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally it was Green Death. So that's 6 Pertwee stories that got special editions, which is a quarter of his era. So that is a pretty hefty chunk there. Thoughts on the 5.1 remix of the original theme tune on Blu-rays? It sometimes sounds a little bit odd, but it certainly sounds a bit better sometimes than it does others. What do you think of it? Or have you not been able to listen to it?
I've not been able to listen to it. I mean, I've got a 5.1 surround thing. I've just not set it up because I'm like, it's just an awkward thing.
That's fair.
So yeah, I've not experienced it, so I can't really comment on it.
There are times where it works better for me than others. Certainly when you get to later on with the McCoy theme, that one's great in 5.1. Like, I think, when the rocks sort of fly past,
yeah,
and you can sort of like hear them almost going over
the
your head
whoosh.
with that one. Yeah, that's done very well. The Sea Devils getting a Dolby Atmos soundtrack, Mad Times. That's the best audio it could get, and it's amazing they could do it with a grating mono soundtrack. Indeed,
that's why it's the best story.
Yeah, I mean, Terror of the Autons, that has a very good 5.1. Like, there's wonderful bits during the fight sequences where an explosion will happen, and you'll like hear the little bits of debris just raining around you. Like, that's very nicely brought to 5.1 there.
I mean, the Sea Devil scream's going to be quite horrific.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Funny how Ambassador's unit are ambushed while escorting Mars Probe 7. Yeah, the same happens in Mind of Evil with the missile. They don't learn. Yeah, no one's really trust unit with escort duty, should they?
No, or doing ambassador sort of protection.
Yeah. I love like that scene just after where the Brigadier turns up with egg on his face. Like, I'm afraid they got the transport, and then the doctor's just in there like, I retrieved it. Doing your job for you, Brigadier. Oh. Favorite random side character from each Doctor's era, our stylish one.
I would say Morton Dill.
Yeah, how random are we going? Are we going like the
I'd
Pigpen
go.
Josh style, or are we going just a side character?
I'd just go whatever, really.
Yeah, because I mean, kind of Travis jumps out for the Troughton era.
I think Travers feels like a nice recurring thing.
Yeah, but then I wonder if there's any like silly Morton Deal, Pigpen Josh style ones. If that's which are you more going for there? Stylish one. When you say random, do you just mean an odd choice, or do you just mean like a character
Guilty
who
pleasure
feels very
characters?
random? Yeah, like the old woman in City of Death.
I think I think Tom's era, it's got to be like Mrs. Professor Rumford. I like Professor Rumford.
Ah, she's a good one.
She's
Oh,
good.
I do. Who's the one in Seeds of Doom?
Is it? Oh God.
Ducar.
Yeah.
Something Ducar, isn't it?
Yeah. The painter.
Yeah. There's something about her, especially how she just comes back into the story again a little bit later.
So I want my money.
I
I just want my money.
Consider them available for any future assignments. Random weird ones. Stylish one.
Okay.
Oh, like the chef from Enemy of the World. Oh, he's a brilliant. He's only got one episode, yet he really makes an impression, doesn't he?
Oh, he's great. Third Doctor, it's got to be Pigpen Josh.
Yeah.
There's no
Although
question.
another choice from Claws of Axos that's quite good is who's the minister person?
Chin,
that's it. He's quite entertaining. Well, there's that brilliant scene where he turns up after being missing for half an episode, scoffing a chicken leg.
Yeah, I love him. Love him. And then I think fourth Doctor, it's got to be Patsy. Oh, he's a floater.
Oh yeah, that's true for those ones.
Yeah.
Fifth Doctor.
Just Martin Cleans.
Yeah.
Don't know. Oh, no,
he's got more of a main.
Maybe Beryl Reid.
Yeah, she's an odd one, isn't she?
Yeah.
Especially
from like the studio footage.
Sixth Doctor. Colin Baker.
Oscar. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He has an odd little journey, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He sort of like starts off relevant to the plot and then just comes back in part 3 to be killed in a little bit of padding, really.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly you have odd stories like Attack of the Cybermen and Revelation of the Daleks, where you've got so many side characters going around.
Yeah.
What I love. Seventh Doctor era. There's got to be a good one in Remembrance.
Remembrance got some good ones.
Yeah.
I think the cafe owner.
Oh, the cafe owner. Yeah.
We'll
go for the opposite of the racist old woman.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he's a wonderful little character. Oh no, not the cafe owner, the stand-in one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one who was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, there we go.
That is one of my favourite Seventh Doctor scenes. I won't lie. The sugar scene. That's wonderful. Eighth Doctor. Now we're a bit more limited. It should make it easier.
Probably the police motorbike guy.
Or the guy who pulled
from the morgue.
First seed.
Yeah.
Who witnesses Jesus.
Party on.
Ninth Doctor, Clive?
Space Pig.
Oh, yeah.
I love my Space Pig.
10th Doctor, Hawks. Hoax.
Yeah.
I was getting
But I like
confused.
Does Balakatalata count? I love Balakatalata.
Could do. Or one of the ones from the Vinvoce
Mm.
in End of Time. There we go.
God bless the cactus.
That's racist.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. It's cacti first, and then
Yeah.
that's racist.
What else?
So I just was watching the making of for the Two Doctors. It's mad that the actor who played Anita is now Deputy Mayor of Gibraltar, most successful Doctor Who actor in another profession, very possibly.
That's a power move. That's a power move.
Yeah, imagine that, like turning up on your to-do list one day or whatever it is. Like suddenly you're the mayor of Gibraltar and you've got, deputy mayor, and you've got someone saying they want to interview you about Doctor Who.
What is Doctor Who?
Imagine if all the Doctors all saw the first face they ever saw before they regenerated. Poor third and eighth Doctors. Oh, it would just is third Doctor the nurse who he's saying shows to?
Or just be a bunch of Heather? Don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bill would have loved that.
Oh yeah. Oh, smooth. You can tell Luke's a Doctor Who fan.
Which Bill am I talking about, though?
Oh,
deep cut are we going?
See, this is it. You know,
They both love their Heather.
This is the life you live. Oh, I've just got it. It's been a long week.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Which one were you thinking of first? I imagine you're thinking Potts.
Yeah, I was thinking Potts.
But then, yeah, because they were both named after, weren't they?
Yeah.
Hartnell and Heather Hartnell. That's a lovely little detail there. I doubt William Hartnell would have approved, but screw him.
Hey, you said it, not me.
There we go. He's a man of many complexities, isn't he?
Yeah, he was a player and an interesting childhood.
Yeah. Have we ever had quite like a full-on William Hartnell biopic?
No, I
think
not
biopic. That's pretty much what Adventure in Space and Time is in a way. Biography, the profile like they've done for David Whittaker and such.
Yeah, I think that would be a nice thing for season 1.
Yeah.
Who is Doctor Who? Who is William Hartnell? Like the like the one his granddaughter did is meant to be really good. I've just not got it all,
Hello, Dragon Bugs. Thank you for joining us. There's a whole section of the doc about Hines almost starting a full-on relationship with the woman who throws the flower and the Two Doctors.
I can't say I'm surprised.
He was a player, wasn't he?
Good old Fraser Hines.
Yeah. Did he ever go out with Wendy? Not Wendy. He definitely didn't go out with Deborah.
I think he probably tried. I think he tried.
I think they were. I think with Wendy, you get more of a brother sisterly vibe with them. I don't know if it's just the characters on screen, but I feel like, from what we know about them in real life as well, I don't think Fraser was quite as into her as he was Deborah or Annika. At least in like pursuing a relationship. Like, I think they got on very well as friends and still do to this day. But yeah, from what I've seen, like there's no evidence of there ever being any tension there.
I guess all the secrets will come out eventually.
Yeah, you never know. Also brought Time War Force since it's on sale.
Good box set.
I brought a bundle which includes the Annihilators and Kaleidoscope. Great stories. Very good. Dragon Bugs. Good choices.
Very good stories.
Apparently, Fraser flirted with the main guest lady from Tomb of the Cybermen, unaware that she was producer Peter Bryant's wife, says Joe Bowers.
Fraser has no shame. No shame.
That's like not even long after he met Deborah.
The man sees, the man knows what he wants.
I think him and Patrick were sometimes competing, weren't they?
Probably.
Like,
How many
Astrid.
mistresses have you got?
Yeah. Or I mean, like competing for the same women.
Oh damn!
Like Astrid in Enemy of the World. I think they both went for her a bit.
I
I mean, that
Fraser
even made it. Yeah.
I think Fraser had the advantage of a kilt.
I mean, that even made it into the story, Enemy of the World. Like in the first episode, how the Doctor's like, "I'll do anything you want."
It's been ages since I've watched Enemy. I should revisit it.
That is a good one.
It's probably in my top 3 Troughton stories.
That's it. It's been said loads of times before, but it really has been improved by coming back, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's probably like the biggest 180, I would say.
Yeah, it's like it was never like badly regarded, but more just forgotten, really.
I think it's because it was the episode we got.
Yeah, it was a bit of an awkward one, wasn't it?
But yeah, it's all good.
Dragonbug says, I do want to get the Outlaws sometime as well, though, and then I can get the Demon Song and Return of Joe Jones.
Outlaws is definitely worth it. I enjoy the Outlaws. Can't come in on Demon Song and Return of Joe Jones yet because not out yet.
Yeah. We aren't either privy to insider information nor are we psychic. We can't see the future, sadly, or hear it.
We have our ways of getting information.
We have a secret source.
It's Heinz. Yeah.
We send a beautiful woman his way. He sends us information in return.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the stories I hear about Troughton surprise me. If they did ever do a documentary on him, he won't be 100% portrayed in a good light, says Joe Bowers.
I think his autobiography is meant to be an interesting take on it. Again, I've not read it.
Has he done an autobiography? Did he do an autobiography?
Michael Troughton, I think, did it.
Because auto is when it's self-written.
Yeah.
So it's just, is it just biography or is there a
biography?
Yeah. I think he read it as well, didn't he, Michael? Actually, I believe he did.
Yeah. I think that's how he started doing the Second Doctor.
You say you can't tell the future, yet after the Black Hole, the next compilation will be about all your predictions.
Oh, okay.
I mean, speaking of predictions, it's probably a good time to go on to the news.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I ever said it on stream, but I certainly remember telling you that I'm putting money on, well, not quite putting money on there being, but I was pretty certain we'd get an 8th of March set this year. Because March was looking quite empty. They got rid of the Lost Stories, pushed it back a bit. I was thinking, yeah, they'll squeeze an 8th of March in there, and they have.
A 4-parter, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it could be. Because I mentioned to you yesterday that, so we just got 2 stories in this one, and it's a 3-disc one, so presumably one of them is going to be double length. We knew for a while that Louise Jameson was writing a 4th Doctor story. Like originally for Series 10, they had Louise Jameson listed as a writer on a to-be-announced 4th story.
Yeah.
But that later got swapped out with, I believe it was Helen Goldwyn who wrote it, the
Primeval Design.
Yeah. And then Louise Jameson mentioned on behind the scenes of that, actually, that she was writing a historical for the 4th Doctor. It's mentioned that John Dorney is the script editor of this story that we're getting here. So I feel like this was originally that 4th Doctor adventure, but they've sort of repurposed it into the 8th of March in this form, which looks like a good idea. It gets us a Tom Baker story sooner instead of it being like lost in the endless backlog of Tom Bakers they've got recorded at this point. So it gets us that sooner, and it feels like a fitting story to release on this day. So it'd be curious to see whether or not it does turn out to be like that, if they maybe edit it into a 2-parter or keep it as just a 4-parter with like the Tom Baker titles. Or I could be completely mistaken here and we'll be getting another Louise Jameson written 4th Doctor adventure at some point. But nevertheless, what do you think of this? Oh, sorry, I've just noticed he's muted himself there. So, what do I think of this? I suppose it's a question I should be asking. I think it looks like a quite exciting little story, really. I've not picked up the first two 8th of March sets, to be honest. But, I mean, Tom Baker is in it, so we're both weak for Tom Baker, aren't we? Here we go, he's back.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but it'd be interesting, to be honest, this one. I am interested by it.
Yeah. I was also thinking, so the first story is called A Ghost of Alchemy. And, I mean, actually, the synopsis of it, like apparently there's going to be a train journey involved, sort of gives me a similar vibe to what was that story from Lost Resort and Other Stories? Perils of Nellie Bly.
Yeah.
It gives me a similar vibe to that, which, I mean, that's a very good, fun little story. So, yeah, I'm excited for that because it's going across America again as well. And then with Strange Chemistry being the title of this box set, we know we've got one other to be announced story, which, I mean, it comes out on the 8th of March, so it can't be that long away getting an announcement. Maybe a Liz story?
Liz would be
Just
nice.
with it being chemistry and her being a scientist. I think I'd quite like that. But I'm not sure if they'd maybe want to get a new series character in there instead, just to balance it out since this is 4th Doctor and Leela.
Yeah, they do like to, unless it's River again. I don't know.
Yeah. But also, I like how Louise Jameson talks about the contrast between Marie Curie and Leela herself, where you have a woman who's quite shy, but a lot of like very much all brain.
Yeah.
While Leela is very much the opposite of shy. You know, she is all out there, doesn't care what people
Speaks her
think about
mind.
her. Yeah. And is also full on heart. So there are interesting contrasts there, but I think they'll gel well together. So,
yeah.
I'm curious about this one to see how much 4th Doctor this is and how much it is Leela.
I feel like it's going to be a nice balance to it.
Yeah.
If it's going to be like a big 2-hour story.
Yeah, actually, you need to balance out somehow if it's going to be a 2-hour one. Yeah, and I wonder if it's going to be a pure historical as well.
I imagine it will be.
Yeah. I mean, that would certainly be interesting to get a 2-hour 4th Doctor pure historical.
And it's like around the world in 80 days, but they've got to get like the character to the place she needs to go because the train's broke or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I mean, we very much got that with Perils of Nellie Bly as well, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, that's
Well,
inspired by Phileas Fogg, wasn't she?
yeah, she was very much trying to beat the record of that fictional character there. But around the world in 80 days, great series.
Yeah, it's weird because we thought that's David Tennant doing Doctor Who.
Yeah,
but then like a couple months later, we actually got David Tennant back as Doctor Who.
I mean, have they started filming the second series yet? Because they said they were doing one, but I don't know. Like,
I don't think they are. I think he's doing a BBC Two comedy. I think There She Goes at the minute.
Yeah, that's right. He's very popular, isn't he? So he's got lots of things going on. But yeah, I wonder if they'll ever.
I think there are plans for it.
Yeah, if they'll get round to that soonish. Yeah, because when did that come out? That started like 2021.
Yeah, and then it finished.
So, yeah,
I
suppose it was only a year ago actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about not too long ago actually.
Yeah.
But it just feels like so much has happened in a year in some ways. And another piece of news. It's been a while since we've had this series. Panos the Gang. Not really much in terms of details for this. It's just the title, Trespassers. I wonder if this will be like Unit and Gallifrey War Room has become, where each set's going to have an individual title as well as the overarching series titled Trespassers.
I imagine so. I imagine it will.
That's what they do. I mean, it's only 40 that's bucked that trend since the relaunch. And even then, that's a bit confusing because 41 is just called 40 on the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no details yet, just another 12-part series starting in October, and then it goes April, October, May. So May 2025 is when the last set comes out. So, I mean, with another 2025 release up for pre-order, it can't be too long before we start getting details of the next series of Fourth Doctor Adventures.
Yeah, considering how far they record those as well.
Yeah, because they must have those done. I wonder if maybe they're going to do a double announcement again. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, series 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 were both announced together, weren't they?
Yeah.
Did those like big blocks of announcements. So yeah, I'd be curious. Yeah. I mean, we say this, we haven't even got series 12 itself yet, and then we got series 13 to go. But
yeah,
I mean, you said you're not really too interested in this at the moment, are you? You didn't
Yeah.
go for Heritage or much of it.
Yeah, I only got the one Heritage box set for Jago. Stylish one. Jago and Life is still the superior Victorian spin-off. Just saying. Yeah, for me, it didn't do much for me. I think maybe because I'm too in that mindset of Jago and Life is a Victorian Doctor Who spin-off.
Yeah. I know when I started listening to the first set, particularly the first episode, I got that vibe, the same sort of vibe I got when I watched Wizards versus Aliens.
It does feel very
And
CBBC Big Finish.
I mean, not so much that. I more mean in terms of that it's a replacement for Sarah Jane Adventures, wasn't it?
Okay.
And so I couldn't help but watching it and just feeling like slightly sad and mourning the loss of the Sarah Jane Adventures. It was like, it's the corpse dressed up, reminding you that it's gone in a way. And so I never was able to get over that with Wizards versus Aliens, which is why I didn't really go beyond. I don't think I've ever finished the first series of that, actually. Yeah, I tried, but it was just like too much of a painful reminder of what had gone before, I guess. But thankfully with Paternoster again, like that first episode threw me a bit, but I think it was the second episode where you get the introduction of the Bloomsbury Bunch. That was when I started to see more of the potential of this spin-off as its own thing. And yeah, certainly, thankfully shook that off. And I'm excited for more of them, especially now that they're a bit cheaper, because before it was a 4-disc set back when they were still just phasing out the bonus disc. So now it's nice to be getting about the same amount of content, but for a cheaper price. It's good to finally have it back, because certainly it feels like it's been a while since we've had anything from them.
Was it 2019? 2020?
2020, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so it started in 2019 and went through to 2020. And now it's back for 2023. And yeah, I'm excited to see whether or not this series arc is a bit more tighter connected than Series 1's was. But we shall see. Any recommendations from the stuff going out of print and all the sales on? So we got some end of line notifications, haven't we? Which is there's some shocking stuff on there, like 10th Doctor volumes 2 and 3, like the standard editions of those releases are going.
I think there's some quite recent ones as well.
Yeah. It's weird to think that we could have the standard editions going out of print before. Yeah, that's a new logo one. Like we could have the standard editions of the 10th Doctor Adventures going before the limited editions do.
Yeah, it's mental. Like 10th Doctor and River Song, my goodness.
Yeah. Is it the whole lot or is it just the individual ones?
I think it's the individual ones by the looks of it.
Yeah, no 10th Doctor River Song yet. But yeah, certainly River Song up to Series 6. Of those 3, I'd say either 6 or 5 is the one to go for. Less so 4, if you want a River Song set before it goes. I mean, yeah, Third Doctor Adventures Volume 4 and 5, both worth grabbing before they go, definitely.
Sword of a Chevalier, Creeping Death, no place. Expiry dating's a lot of fun.
Well, definitely expiry dating. I think if you're in the mood for some 10th Doctrine River, but aren't really sure about getting a full set, just get expiry dating. It's all you really need from that one.
Yeah, it's the best one. And then I would say Torchwood Night of the Fendal. Really like that one. I think that's still my favourite Torchwood.
I mean, certainly, it sort of goes without saying because it's Torchwood, it's going to be a bit more adult, but that is one of their most adult ones, given the content of it.
And then Classic Doctor New Monsters, definitely worth it.
Ooh. Speaking of Tortured and being adult, how would you say Double lines up on that front? Because you finished that one, I haven't started it yet. Certainly, I heard some interesting things out on Twitter. Because I think James Gosh says you're going to want to boil wash your soul after this one or something like that. So they're hyping it up to be quite dark. Do you feel like it lives up to that, or is it you sort of unfazed by it?
Not really.
Oh.
This is kind of spoiling the stream, but I'll revisit it. So I might fall in love with it. But I think it has moments where it's going more down a darker route with the Autons, which is great. And how the Autons are manipulating the British government is pretty cool. But I think when you get to the gruesome moments in the story, you kind of have to wait for the character in the scene after to go, oh, that's how that character died. Like, it's a bit awkward in the sound design of what's going on.
I suppose it's less the sound design and more the writing in that sense. Like, you need some sort of clue beforehand, don't you? I mean, we'll see. Maybe it'll click for me in a way that it didn't for you for whatever reason. But yeah,
like it's a bit like God of Phantoms. You're like, what's going on here?
I suppose, at least from what you said, Double does actually explain it afterwards. I don't think God of Phantoms did as good a job at that. That just sort of left you in the deep end, really.
Yeah.
Oh, Classic Doctor's New Monsters 1 and 2, though. Get both of those before they go.
Recommend.
Mr. Monkhatch says, I've been playing God of War 3 and it makes me think about how awesome a Greek mythology Doctor Who episode would be. I mean, if you want Greek mythology and a War Master, you could check out the latest War Master set for something along those lines.
Yeah. There's been quite a few Greek mythology Big Finish last year.
Yeah, Tartarus as well. Not last year, but yeah, that's a good Greek mythology one.
And then you've got the 8 and Charlie one from Classic Doctors and Monsters Volume 3.
Yeah, you do. Another brilliant one. Not that it's going out of print, but yeah, definitely. All Classic Doctors New Monster sets are worth grabbing, really, aren't they?
Yeah. Recommend.
They may want to remove all the Zeus cheating, though. I believe there's some of that referenced in it, isn't there? The War Master.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Any recommendations from the recent sales? I mean, Cradle of the Snake, since you talked about that earlier.
Yeah, Cradle of the Snake. I enjoyed that one.
Aquitaine and Peterloo Massacre. We'll be going back to those for stream at some point.
Yeah, sometime, probably late March, April, maybe for that.
Yeah, try to tie it in with conflicts of interest because it's a Fifth Doctor, Tegan and Nyssa stories.
Can't recommend anything from the Class sale because not got any Class audios.
I think there's an 8th Doctor Time War sale at the moment as well, isn't there?
I don't know if that's ended.
That might have ended last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There's a few recommendations for you. Would we like to dive into River Song now?
Yeah, and then we'll do a little quick chat and jet off.
Yeah. There's not really too much to say about the topic. It's more just we want to have get our 5 minutes of praise out there because certainly the recent set, Friend of the Family, very good stuff. But shall we start off quickly by talking about Series 10?
Yes, we can do. We can do indeed.
Because we'll be returning to our old tier list.
Hey, there we
Our
go.
old friends. This is well over a year ago that we did this.
Yeah, I guess when new recruits came out, really.
Yeah, so it would have been about October, November 2021, I think. Let's have a look.
Does ring a bell.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, if you want all our opinions on all those older stories, go have a look there for it. November 26th, 2021, we did this.
Ah, okay.
So a year and 2 months ago. Yeah, a year, 2 months, and 1 day is how long ago this was. And since then, we've had 2 new river sets to add. You've not listened to any of Series 10, though, have you?
No, I have it, but it's one of those releases I've just stuck on the shelf.
Understandable.
Oh, okay. We know where this is going.
I've already recommended the first one to you because
Yeah,
Tim Foley, 2 rivers, brilliant chemistry between the 2 leads here. You have the Ulla River, who is a wonderful character, very well played. And it's another sort of out of ordery style story. It sort of throws you around a lot, but you're tied down by the fact that you're experienced alongside the river songs. Yeah, it's a brilliant one. It's Tim Foley, such a solid writer. He's done some amazing stuff for Big Finish, like not just recently, but since he joined, really. He's been writing amazing stories. And certainly we'll be going on to praise him a lot more shortly. But for now, the 2 rivers, I'd probably say is a Hello Sweetie.
Oh, top tier.
It's since you've already got the box set, I definitely recommend you listen to this one.
Yeah.
You don't need to go back to anything else, though, to be honest.
Okay.
There's no strong desire to. Beauty on the inside, it's quite a long story. It's like an hour and 10 minutes-ish. And it drags. It really does. It feels like it could have been edited down a lot more. It doesn't quite have the plot to sustain that. It's an interesting idea, and it has the occasional bit of spooky imagery, but for the most part, none of it ever really clicks with me. And it just feels like it needed a page 1 rewrite to just inject it with a bit more excitement or something, a bit more spookiness, a bit more of something. It just leaves me feeling very bland afterwards. And it's very much a check your watch one as you make your way through it.
Okay.
So I'd probably say it's I'm Sorry, My Love. Looking at what we've got on that tier,
it fits
does fit in. It fits in with those. And then Black Friday. This is by Laura Mooney and Stuart Pringle, who we quite enjoyed their work over on Torchwood, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's fair. And it was exciting seeing them getting an Autumn River Song story here. So it's set in a huge shopping centre in space. I believe it's the Omnia Forum. And it's quite a nice setting, quite a good bit of fun to be had there. Overall, it's just good fun story, really. Nothing groundbreaking, but not every story necessarily needs to be. I'd probably put it on the same lines as Afternoon Precious.
Okay.
Yeah. And finally, Firewall. It feels like for the concept it's going for, this is River Song during her virtual afterlife stage. And so it feels like, if you're going to delve into that period of her life, you need to have a strong idea for it. I don't think there's a strong idea here, really. It feels like they came up with the idea of doing something in the afterlife first and then built a story to try and slot in that gap. And it doesn't do much for me. It's great having... It's proper Dave, isn't it? It's proper Dave in this one. And wonderful little character there, but, doesn't really get to do too much. It is sort of just for namesake only, really, borrowing them from Silence in the Library. I'd probably say it's a Dear God, Your Hard Work.
Okay.
It feels like it should have been a lot more than it was. So, yeah. Two Rivers and a Firewall. Two Rivers is brilliant. The rest, it's mostly fine. But certainly, if you want a River Song box set, look no further than Friend of the Family. And now, Ben, I've talked about Series 10. I've talked about Series 11 a little bit over the past couple of streams. I made my way through it. But now it's your turn to either praise it or maybe you'll throw a curveball in here. Who knows? But take it away.
Yeah, because when this was announced, I think this was announced at a time when I was thinking about scaling back what Big Finish I buy. Because there comes a point where you go, how long can I sustain buying the amount of Big Finish that I buy? And sometimes you've got to think, well, is that a story I want to hear?
Is this a range I want to carry on with sometimes? And certainly after, I mean, you didn't even go into Series 10, did you?
Yeah.
So, if you've picked a set up and you've just stuck it on the shelf with no intent of listening to it, you're at that point where you're going, do I really need to keep buying this range?
And we had Old Lang Syne, again by Tim Foley. And, the story on paper sounds very similar. And then...
both non-linear stories in Old House with family there.
Yeah.
And Wendy Craig.
Yeah. But this one, it's amazing. It's probably my favorite River Song box set. It shows the potential of River as a character. It has beautiful pairings throughout the sort of family dynamic. And Hugo, I love Hugo.
Yeah, he's there on the cover with River. He's Mark Elstob.
They're a wonderful sort of sparring thing, sort of pair.
Yeah, I think it's great that with it being a four-parter, you can see their friendship develop as it goes on.
Yeah, and it has a beautiful heart to it. Like the scenes about River's diary, about why she doesn't write everything that happens in her life in that diary, and that she's getting closer and closer because this is how she becomes Professor River Song.
I think it's also a good bit of development for her as a character, as we sort of explore her becoming less impulsive. Yeah, taking the time with it a bit more. That's very much. There's a lot of good developments in this set, isn't there? And it feels similar to how it's similar to what He Who Fights with Monsters does for the War Doctor. In that feels like the definitive War Doctor set. This feels like the definitive River Song set. If you want to get any River Song one, this is the one to get. Not only because it's amazing, but because it feels like it gives you a little bit of an extra dimension to the character beyond TV.
It's River front and center. It's not like here's a gimmick from Doctor Who. It's River very much leading her own show.
It is. And I mean, it's split up into 4 time periods, isn't it?
You've got 1936.
1960.
2, I want to say.
1962, 1988, 2014. And so throughout the set, you're bouncing back and forth between them with River. It's all told from her perspective, but everything else going on around her is non-linear. So you've got a lot of mystery there at the start to untangle. And I think that helps very much to ground you in the story. Really, the fact that you're following it from her point of view allows you to feel like you're working things out alongside River.
Because the mystery is great.
She does. Mostly because, it's a story. We recognize the tropes of a story. And so we're able to pick up on these things that River, because she's a character within a story, isn't able to. And then there's other times where it catches you off guard.
Because every character, pretty much, especially like 1936, there's a lot of secrets there of the characters about their true self, really.
Yeah. What was your favourite time period?
I think probably 1936.
Oh, I'd probably go to 60s. There's
Hmm.
something quite heartwarming about that time.
I
Did
mean, yeah,
this?
I did like the 60s, actually, yeah.
Yeah. There's so many wonderful characters here, and I mean, I said just before this when we were talking about Series 10 how Beauty on the Inside felt overly long and felt like it dragged. So, how does that story, where it's an hour and a bit long, versus this story, which is over 4 hours long? I believe it comes out to about 4 hours and 20 minutes, probably. Maybe 4 hours 15. But yeah, how does that story just drag and have me check my watch? Whereas this story, which is so much longer, had me completely invested from start to finish and almost not wanting it to end, really. Like, as
Yes,
I
yeah.
finished part 3, I was thinking, I've only got one more part of this left now, and I'm not ready to say goodbye to these characters yet. I'm not ready to say goodbye to this world yet. It's been such a beautiful journey, and it really does take you on an extraordinary journey, this story. Tim Foley invites you to join River as she enters the Mortimer household and enters their lives in many meaningful ways. And it's just wonderful spending your time in it. It's a story with so much to say about how the 20th century is a time of very quick change in the way that there's not much time between these periods, and yet things are completely different in each one of them. They're all very distinct, not just in the way that the characters are portrayed and such, but also just in the way that the society around it is portrayed. You never leave the house. Well, you leave the
You go
house,
to the
but you don't.
beach.
Yeah, you don't leave like the grounds of the house, do
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't interact with the society as a whole, but it works as this wonderful little microcosm almost of what life was like in these different decades, and it all serves a purpose, which you realize when you get to the ends there with what it's all building towards. It's beautiful stuff. It's a story that can take its time. It has
But you
slower
don't
moments.
mind it.
You really don't. There's moments where it slows down and where it just gets to spend time with the characters, really. And what wonderful characters they are.
I think going back to the sort of microcosm thing, this does feel like a spiritual successor to Old Lang Syne and the house that Hawks built, because it has sort of the tropes Tim Foley's used, but
he
he's
likes
used
his
it.
old house, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's used it in sort of the RTD way of he's built a world like Hugo. The butler's very much the same light wave.
Yeah, hard light
Light.
hologram, isn't he?
Yeah.
Also, like he can shift what he is.
Yeah. So it feels like a nice little universe Tim Foley's made out of these three stories, as it were.
And I believe he himself mentioned that in the extras, he enjoys going around old house like National Trust properties and stuff. So it just seems to suit him to write for them. And I think it's also helpful for us as listeners because it instantly sets you up with a location and instantly gives you an atmosphere.
No, but it's right, because when you go to these sort of stately homes, you do sort of imagine going, well, what if the walls could talk? What would they say?
I mean,
And you
it's
get a
wonderful
slice of that here.
there. With some National Trust properties as well, they do like divide things up by time period. So like they'll preserve one room in the style it would be in one decade, and then they'll preserve another in a style it would have been someone in Victorian times or something. And so this sort of gives you that glimpse of it, doesn't it? Where you are exploring the same house as it changes throughout the decades. It's such an incredible story. And it's a very strong start for the year. This was the first release I listened to this year. And it set the bar very high. If this does not make it into my top 3 releases of the year, then it's been an incredible year. Or it's been a very bad year with 3 releases that are even better than this one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
there's something about it that feels very sort of ITV period drama. It sort of has that sort of Sunday night feel to it, really, which is nice. It's a leisurely listen, but with a great mystery that keeps you engaged throughout.
Yeah, it sort
You
of has a
never lose
similar.
sight of it.
Yeah, it has a similar feel to the audio novels in the sense that it's rather personal as a listen.
Hmm.
You know, you feel very much like this is a sit down cozy. It came out at the right time of year, I think, when it's cold
Yes.
outside. You know, you want to be in like a big warm house,
Well,
really.
you get reference to like New Year as well. You know, like it literally is the start of a new year, and
Yeah, I mean, it gets to jump around a lot through different time periods, to different seasons as well, not just time periods. Like it's not all set in winter time. Like I think the '60s setting is sort of comes to during the summer, doesn't it?
it's Easter, isn't it? Because they're doing like
Yeah,
an Easter hunt.
it gets like the spring, and then certainly the '30s. That one is Christmas, isn't it? And then build up to New Year. '80s, that might be summer, maybe. I think you get less of a
You don't really spend much time in
distinction
the
late.
80s.
Yeah. But then I think you spend enough there that it makes it worthwhile. A lot
Yeah,
of the '80s characters are characters you've met in the '60s as well.
just the
So
older version, like Tommy.
yeah. Mm.
Like Tommy's a great, like he's a character that doesn't speak in the 60s,
Yeah. When
but
he's a
yet you
child
you know
there
he's
and
there.
yeah.
Like
It's a great impression.
yeah, it's wonderful.
Some great like acting with children from Alex Kingston, even though she's acting off nothing, really. Like she's pretty much just giving a monologue for a lot of it.
But I guess that's like
Yeah.
her maternal side coming out.
Yeah. I think it also adds to the personal feel of it, doesn't it? It's almost like she's talking to you in a way, I
But
suppose.
that's the thing. By the end of this box set, you do feel like you are part of the family.
It's wonderful. I mean, there we go. By the end of this box set, did you ever start welling up a bit? Did you feel the tears?
I did when a certain character come back and a certain
No.
phone call. Well, not phone call, like message, as it were.
Yeah, the message got me as well. It's brilliant stuff. And I think it proves how well River can work on her own without the Doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, without any like ties to the TV series. Like it didn't need any of that. It just needed, River chose a point in her life and tell this incredible story with it. And my goodness, it is incredible. I think I might prefer it to anything I heard last year.
Okay.
It's
Oh.
I don't, I'm probably more likely to revisit Annihilator. Again, it's that thing of, preference, third Doctor era, you're always going to have that nostalgic weakness versus this is the better story, as it
Yes.
were. But yeah, I think certainly if you like things like maybe, the more personal New Who stories like Turn Left and some other Moffat ones, it fits in well with those. It's got a nice new series tone to it, doesn't it? But something
Yeah.
but it doesn't have the unrelenting pace a lot of New Who has. It takes its time to really explore the world and just do something very different to what I think Big Finish has ever done before, really, or Doctor Who in general, perhaps. It takes its time to make the little things feel like the big things. You don't need the whole universe at stake with this one. You just need that family drama, and yeah, certainly what it builds to at the cliffhanger of episode 3, that hits you hard. So, I mean, pretty much, if you're interested in this release, but you're a bit worried about the runtime sustaining itself, don't be. Just get it.
It's immersive.
Yeah. If you're not interested in this release whatsoever, do yourself a favor. Get it anyway. You will not regret it. It is brilliant stuff. Tim Foley absolutely knocked my socks off with this one.
Is it the best Tim Foley story?
It might be. He's set a high bar for himself. He's done quite a few good ones, but yeah, it might just be the best one he's done yet. And it doesn't look like he's showing any signs of stopping. So
no, every story he's done that I've experienced, banger. I think after listening to this, I think he is definitely my favourite writer at Big Finish.
Yeah, at the moment he really is. There's a quality to his work that is rare, isn't there? You don't get it with every writer, but he just makes everything feel so real and alive.
Mm.
I mean, there's no doubt where this one's going, is there?
Could you have memory wipe?
Yeah, get rid of
Yeah,
it. Get it out of
get
there. I don't want to remember it.
To be fair, it eradicates everything on this list.
It is by far the best. Can we knock everything else down a tier and just have Friend of the Family as a top tier on its own?
Yeah, because
maybe that's the way
it deserves it. It deserves it because I thought series 3 was like the best River could get, and then this comes along, and I'm like, you know what? This is the River story we've been waiting since 2015.
It is the River song story.
It is. It is a definitive one.
It's incredible stuff. I mean, if you're wondering why it's just as one thing on this tier list, it's because it is really just one story, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not. Whereas in those early series, when they were doing one long story arc, each episode still stood on its own for the most part. Whereas this, it's got individual episode titles, but it is just a 4-parter, really. Yeah. And speaking of memory wipes, this is one of those releases you want to wipe your memory and listen to again, just so you can have that experience of hearing it for the first time. I think it's one of those ones where it's really special hearing it, going in not quite sure what to expect, and just being blown away as you make your way through.
I think because I had low expectations going in because of the way I felt about it, made it even more powerful for me. I think that's what made it even more of a heavy hitter.
It sort of feels like it's got a similar quality to Andor to me, where it's like, is Doctor Who allowed to be this good? It feels like too good for what it is, if that makes sense as a story.
And you're constantly going, it's going to drop soon. It's going to, because that's how your pessimistic Doctor Who fan mind works. Like, it's going to drop, but it doesn't.
I think it's the bonus of having it all being one writer as well.
Yes.
Is that there is that one clear vision there. Whereas there are some War Master sets where, because they originally divided them up into 2 writers, and you can sort of tell there's a bit of a difference in quality sometimes between the two. But yeah, certainly I think the answer to all of Big Finish's problems at the moment is just get Tim Foley in to write a long form story for your box set, and you're all set there. Yeah, we don't want to stretch him too thin, but certainly, yeah. I mean, I've loved a lot of Tim Foley's work, but I love it even more when he gets to play in a longer story. I believe he's said himself that he prefers writing the longer form stories to the short 1-hour ones. So yeah, give him all the 4-parters, all the 6-parters, all the 4-hour long box sets. Yeah, everything.
I'd love to see him tackle an audio novel.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I wonder how his prose is. Yeah, I think certainly he feels well suited to that style of storytelling. But yeah, I mean, what's next up for Tim Foley? Because we've got Cass at the moment. The first episode of that is written by him. I started that one. That's pretty good so far. Yeah, just looking at what else we have to look forward to.
He's got a 5th Doctor one, hasn't he?
Yeah. I wonder if there's anything before. Oh, 4th Doctor, isn't there?
Yes, yeah.
He's doing Ghost of Margaret, which is actually, which is one he would have done quite a while back, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, probably would have been one of his first.
Yeah, it might have been, given when they record. Or maybe not quite, I don't think. Because I believe that one was recorded a bit later on, because it was like tacked on to the end, wasn't it? Rather than being part of the original production block. When was that one recorded? 23rd of April, 2020. So yeah, still reasonably early on. So yeah, that would have been around the same time as Shadow of the Sun. Which is weird to think that release is now that old. Lockdown has just messed up our perception of time, to be honest.
Yeah, It has. It has.
Or maybe we're just at that age now.
We're going to see that.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, that might not be so bad. We'll get to experience River Song again anew.
Well, you're getting what you want. You're getting what you want.
Be careful what you wish for. But yeah, I mean, to sum up, 11 out of 10. Just go buy River Song, Friend of the Family. You will not regret it. It has got this year off to a very good start.
Best Big Finish of the year so far.
Easily.
I mean, I'm only 3 releases of the recent stuff in, and yeah, this is the winner.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting when we get round to our top 5 in June, like our top 5 of the year so far, to see quite where it lands. If it's going to have held on to that top spot, or if something else is going to come along and nab it from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of hope something. Well, I definitely hope something does, because I want even better stories.
Yeah.
But certainly, it's a strong one. It really is, and definitely one I'll have to go back to at some point. I think it's not something you can go back to straight away, is it?
You need to let the dust settle.
Yeah. But it's one of those stories that when you're not listening to it while you're in the middle of it, it stays on your mind. You're thinking about it. You think about the themes. You think about what happened next. Yeah, it's one of those. It's brilliant stuff.
It was just a treat to listen to, and I feel privileged for I listened to it.
Yeah, you feel privileged to have shared this slice of the Mortimers' history, don't you? Even though they're fictional characters. And to get to go on this journey with River herself. And it does a great job giving her a little development as well outside of the TV series in quite a few different ways. There's lots of character arcs here. And I think that's one of the great things about these longer stories, is that you can give different characters their own journeys throughout. Yeah. Dragon Bugs. I don't believe I've heard of Tim's story yet. I've been tempted by Autumn Infinity, but I want to get 41 first. You can get Infinity on its own, I will say. But you maybe get a little bit more out of it with 41, but you won't be lost as such. Like, all you need to know is the Fifth Doctor's being thrown around this timeline, and they pretty much catch you up from there. But if you want to get started with a Tim Foley story, I'd probably say get the Third Doctor Adventures Volume 7.
Yeah, the golf is an amazing one.
Yeah, and you also get a solid Third Doctor, Liz, and Brigadier story in the Unzal incursion. That one's by Mark Wright, but yeah.
You can get part 1 of the golf for free, so you can check it out.
Yeah, check it out, see if it's your cup of tea, and then maybe dive into Volume 7 of the Third Doctor Adventures if you want some Tim Foley. That's a good one to start off with from him. Tim Foley started in about 2017-ish, the stylish one. No, Tim Foley has a Class Audio Volume 2, just saying.
You're all right, thanks.
42 is a great story. Some more Tim Foley love there from Daniel Hager.
Oh God, he wrote Image of the Fender. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he did.
Banger. And then he did
Night of the Fendal.
Night of the Fendal.
Yeah.
Tropical Beach, Sound and Other Relaxing Seascapes, Volume 4.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
That's another one of those ones that's sort of like, I like the concept, but can it sustain it for an hour? And it does.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I take it you two will continue with a song if other box sets follow this format. Would you like other spin-offs to do that? Would that finally make you get Lady Christina? Who knows? Perhaps. If it's Tim Foley, maybe.
Yeah, Tim Foley, yeah.
I mean, certainly it seems like something they're doing more and more with Big Finish now. But I mean, part of the reason it was done for this box set was that Matt Fitton wasn't available to script edit it. And so John Dorney took over for this one box set only. And so that's why it's something very different. And I think we're returning to business as usual in Series 12. For better or for worse.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 2 releases that are standing out in recent memory are He Fights Monsters and River. I definitely like the longer storytelling.
I think it helps the box sets stand out more, doesn't it? When you don't have like one story on there that drags the rest of it down.
Yeah, because I think that can make or break a box set. I think that's a thing we found doing like the lists last year in the tier list. Going, well, if that story wasn't in that box set, that would be higher on the list.
Yeah. It's a shame how it works out, especially now that we're going down to mostly just 3-disc box sets. That's when, that's a third of the box set then that's dragging it down often. But it certainly affects the Ninth Doctor Adventures. It's almost like become the curse of Series 2, hasn't it? There's at least going to be one story per box set that you don't get on with.
Yeah.
Search one. I just love the Lady Christina spin-off. I had little to no expectation.
Somebody's got to love it.
It's a bit of a meme. And I listened to it and absolutely loved it. One of the best and most consistent spin-offs. I push it because people like to meme it and avoid it because they don't like Christina or the concepts. But honestly, I think more people should get it.
See, I like Planet of the Dead.
No.
I just don't want more Lady Christina.
I think certainly it was the meme at first, but I think now it's more just I don't want another thing to spend my money on. I don't want to get addicted because, like you said before, you're trying to scale back on Big Finish. You don't want to go out and get another spin-off at this point. Although we are going to go out and get the 8th of March free.
I mean, I already have the other two, so
yeah, that's true.
There's nothing. It's not like it's a loss for me.
Yeah, and then it's Fourth Doctor as well, so
yeah,
collecting that, so I can justify it on that side of things. My most hype set release for this year is the second set for Beyond War Games. Yeah, I'm excited for that one, getting Jamie back with the second Doctor. Tim Foley 3-part Lady Christina box set about the Metabelus crystals. Surely that it will make you buy it, Ben.
Probably.
There you go.
Probably.
When was the last? It was 2021, wasn't it? July. The last set.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Big Finish can sometimes be as bad as Netflix when it comes to like ending things that have had a cliffhanger to them.
They're like the David Bradley stuff. Come on. Where were they going? They're not going to Sheffield.
I mean, I think they've confirmed they are doing something there, though. At least.
Oh, good.
Hopefully that'll be like later this year, even. And then we could get like 2 First Doctor box sets this year. I mean, that's the thing with Big Finish at the moment. Sometimes you get things announced years in advance, and other times you're 2 months out and you get an 8th of March box set dropped on you.
Yeah, it's like Cass.
Yeah.
But we sort of knew something would come out in January.
Yeah. And I wonder if April's going to have something else in it. Because certainly they pushed back Unit Nemesis for. Yeah. So currently April's got Robots 6, 5th Doctor, Conflicts of Interest. Rani takes on the world, and that's it for Doctor Who related box sets. They've also got a couple of other things, Star Cops, Survivors, and monthly range. So I feel like there's room for another Doctor Who related thing that month.
Yeah.
I wouldn't complain if there wasn't, because save a bit of money, but yeah. I feel like we could have something else on the way for April. Maybe another 8th Doctor set if they're copying like the format of last year with a January release, Cass or Charlotte Pollard, and April, then you've got Stranded 4 or whatever could be this April, maybe a further adventure Lucy Miller, and then you've got the 2 relaunch ones in November and December. Would that be the way to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for more McGann.
Yeah. We want. Well, I don't think it'd be a Davison.
Fugitive
Because,
Doctor, maybe, because we don't have a placement for those or Dewan.
yeah, we have confirmation that they're recording now, don't we? A
Yeah, we
little
do.
cheeky car picture with Joe Martin and Peter Davison.
Good old Davo.
Yeah, so he's recording something else as well. He seems to be getting them in advance, similar to Tom.
Yeah, I guess he's a busy man, unless he's recording his like 60th anniversary thing. For
I think they've already got all that.
yeah, that makes sense.
I think they confirmed that they were aiming to finish that like October last year, wasn't it?
It's interesting because I remember back in like 2019, they were like, we've started recording our 60th anniversary thing. I wonder how far that idea's changed now.
Because I mean, they wouldn't have known about Eccleston then, would they?
They wouldn't have known about Eccleston. They wouldn't have known about David being the 14th Doctor, like the whole idea of degenerating or unreal, you know.
I think they would have decided on that before Russell did. It just feels like that's one of those occasions where the same ideas or similar ideas have come along as a coincidence. Joe Bowers, are there plans to bump the other Doctors to 3 sets a year in 2024 as they're doing that before that year? Would seem weird to get the others at 1 or 2 sets but give him more. It's an odd one, isn't it, that? Because the reason they said they were giving the 4th Doctor an extra free story, well, not quite free, but there was no additional cost when they added the peak season and the Ghost of Margaret to the existing series 12 and 11, was there?
No. So it felt like a steal when you got that.
Yeah, because they said that was with the new format to make it line up with where they were going with the relaunch. So that made us think, it'll be 3 box sets a year then, and then that'll be 9 discs, same as what the 4th Doctor Ventures are getting. But instead, Tom Baker's just ended up getting even more than the other Doctors have, because they still kept it 2 sets a year with just the 3 discs on each. So maybe.
I think as well, maybe they just want to start pumping the Tom stuff out.
Yeah, but you say that, but these ones were newly recorded to add on. It wasn't like they were doing with Shadow to Sun where they were bringing something forward. Like, these were specifically recorded to extend these seasons. It's an odd one. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting certainly 3 Davison sets a year.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to have the 1st and 2nd Doctors bumped up a bit more because we love those.
Yeah, I think they definitely deserve a bit more. Yeah, maybe like keep the 8th Doctor and 3rd Doctor at 2 releases a year. At least in the relaunch, because 8th Doctor gets like loads of spin-off and Time War stuff anyway. Bump the 1st and 2nd Doctor up to 2 sets a year. And then 5 or 4 through 7 get 3 sets a year. Maybe that'd be the way to divide it up. But yeah, so that's going to be a huge bundle to buy, though.
It'd be interesting to see what the price is of the bundle when it comes around in May, April.
Yeah, that'll probably be when we start to get a look at what's coming in 2024. I wonder if maybe they did a bit less this year because they knew they were going to have Once and Future. Yeah, certainly the first year it makes sense to ease in gently to the relaunch, but yeah, as it is, just sort of getting less of the Doctors 5 through 7 than we were when we had the main range.
Yeah.
4th Doctor, it stayed the same. 1st Doctor, it's kind of dropped because he's lost a disc, but still only getting 1 set a year. And then 2nd Doctor, it's just more consistent, I guess.
Yeah, because he's the Doctor. We were saying this last night that there's least done with him.
Yeah, he's an odd one. But certainly it feels like that is at least starting to change now, and hopefully continue to do so, given that both Annihilators and Beyond War games were top sellers with Big Finish last year.
Yeah.
So you think that'll hopefully give them the push to go, right, people want Second Doctor content. Let's give them more Second Doctor content. Let's maybe do some lost stories with the Second Doctor or something.
I mean, they've definitely making up for it with like a 7-hour audio book.
Yeah, that's true. But that's sort of been the territory he's been in for a long while anyway.
Yeah.
Like with the early adventures and companion chronicles, he's had a lot of those like narration hybrid releases. Now we're finally getting some full cast stuff. Although the early adventures more or less filled that hole that you needed, but yeah, so we just want more Second Doctor content now, really.
Yeah, I just want to know how long this war game stuff is gonna last, really.
Yeah, because it would also be nice to jump back to earlier combinations, maybe recast Ben and give us some Second Doctor Ben and Polly or Second Doctor Jamie Ben and Polly stuff. It feels too soon to recast Victoria, but you give us some good Second Doctor Jamie and Zoe stuff. Yeah. And then also, if you're going to recast Ben, give us some First Doctor Ben and Polly while you're at it. Stylish one, give the Second Doctor more sets a year for sure, then we could get 6-parters and the arc could become more intertwined and advance quicker. It depends how intense they're planning on that arc to become, doesn't it? But certainly I think it would be better with more sets a year, so you don't have the stranded vibe of it.
Yeah.
Because then you can advance through that arc quicker. I hope Beyond War Games series lost a solid bit and ties together nicely. Yeah, I think that's the other thing with like the current Beyond War Games and the Sixth Doctor and Mel and Hebe arc. It's sort of the problem with it is you don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
Like, whereas when you've got something like Stranded or Doom Coalition, it's clearly laid out. You know where your beginning, middle, and end is. Yeah. Whereas now, like, it could be over in the next box set. I highly doubt it, but
oh yeah,
for all we know, yeah,
we're definitely going to get another 2.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. And from what we have with Colony of Fear, we know that the Second Doctor lives a long life beyond War Games. Raven was a creepy character. Which I found her a bit more like comical almost in the way she was trying to be creepy.
Yeah.
It's like you can see what they're going for, but it didn't work for me. I mean, people never really knew how long monthly range arcs would last. Did anyone predict 11 years for the Hex arc, the return of Klein 9 years after one appearance? No. I think that might partially be part of the problem with the Hex arc, for example. It's just how long it is and how much of a barrier that is for new listeners when it comes to like the main range at that time.
I think with the main range, it was kind of year by year. I don't think there was like a tapestry made, whereas I feel like now there is a sort of somewhat of a tapestry going on.
Yeah, it feels like there's maybe more of a plan, whereas with that, it was just we've got these vague. Well, then again, they've said on the Second Doctor one that it is just more of we've got a vague idea of where it's going, but we don't know it yet.
We're just going to enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Daniel Hager, the Second Doctor fan. I think the next series of Ninth Doctor will have Rose or a 3-hour story, hopefully by Tim Foley.
I mean, I think that's what's needed for Eccleston.
Yeah.
To be honest, I know Ravages is technically the 3-hour story,
but he needs something more like that, really, because especially when it's just the one Doctor, it feels a bit awkward when you're always being introduced to a new one-off companion for a story.
I feel like you get that in every story, like the 5 minute intro,
Yeah.
and it never working out.
Mm. And certainly they are a varying success, aren't they, those characters?
Yeah.
Mm.
Especially series 2 of the Ninth Doctor, like, don't know, it's a weird one. Don't know how I feel about it.
Mm. I mean, we'll be getting Shades of Fear. They got a release date for that, isn't it? 8th of February for that one.
Mm.
So we'll be getting that. And then we'll be doing a tier list of all of Series 2 at some point. So we'll be able to really dive in and break down all our concerns and issues with the Ninth Doctor at Big Finish at the moment. But yeah,
Yeah.
certainly it feels odd knowing that we've only got one Eccleston set left, and yet I'm not clamoring and panicking at the possibility that this could be the last. I'm
I
not
know
going,
there's
give
more.
me a series 3 announcement. Yeah. We've got him in Once and Future. If he's doing something like that, he's at Big Finish to stay.
Yeah, he's become a regular now.
Yeah. Certainly a welcome one, but
Oh
at the
yeah,
same time,
any Doctor's welcome.
needs some course correction, I suppose.
Give him a Dalek Universe box set. I don't know. Just give him a proper series, you know.
Yeah. Give more two-parters, because that was brilliant in Old Friends.
Yeah, because series 2 is just kind of, we have these scripts. How can we fit these scripts in an umbrella title box set? There's no real set order, I think, of these.
No. I mean, what was that for? Station to Station certainly works as an opener. It has that
Yes.
vibe, but after that, I don't think there's no real mid-series feel to it or anything. It is just like a random collection of episodes for the most part, which sometimes can be all you need. But I feel like when the quality itself is varying as well, it doesn't help to back that up. Yeah, imagine Ninth Doctor with his own box set series, says Dragon Bugs. That would be great. Yeah. I think it also stung a little bit with series 2, hearing on the extras where they were saying we're going to have less of an arc this time than we did in the first series, and it's like you barely had one in the first series.
It's just Scotland and Go Forth and Cybermen. Yeah.
But not that I minded how the first series turned out, but you know, that wasn't really an arc. It had a series structure of sorts built with the finale, but
Yeah.
other than that, so I just want to ask favourite and least favourite monthly range trilogies.
I wouldn't say favorite trilogies as such, but I'm just in awe of like 2010 Big Finish.
Oh,
because you have, I
that's
just
fine,
think,
isn't it?
yeah, because you've got like the Klein stuff, the older Jamie trilogy, quadrilogy, if you include the Companion Chronicle. You've got like Cobwebs. Like for me, that's just a real solid run of stories alongside like Castle, like the Stockbridge trilogy as well. Like I think such a good year.
I think that's something I sort of miss from Big Finish that they seem to be coming back to doing now, is when, like you mentioned, how the older Jamie trilogy has that little bonus Companion Chronicle.
Yeah.
When they did that cross-range thing, where it makes it feel like supplementary material for what is already technically supplementary material.
Yeah,
It
when they
helps.
did it with Dalek Universe, didn't they? Dalek Protocol, River
Yeah.
Song.
And now we're getting it with the 11th Doctor Chronicles, with like that short trip read by Sapphire Inga. Yeah, like that's a nice way to make the main product feel grander. Yeah. And so hopefully it's something they will continue to do.
But at least I can say least favorite trilogy easy.
Well, which one's that?
I think you know.
Mags?
Yeah.
There we go. I never even picked that one up. So.
I think that speaks for itself.
Yeah. I'll have to get it when it goes on sale at some point just to fill that gap. But yeah, I can't say I'm too excited about it. I listened to part 1 because they put out part 1 of The Monsters of Gokroth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did nothing for me.
That's
I
a
like
weird
Max.
one.
I like The Greatest Show in the Galaxy a lot, but yeah, as a trilogy, it didn't work for me. I liked towards the end of the monthly range as well, when they sort of almost ditched the trilogy format for the last little bit.
I guess that was down to like COVID and logistics, I think.
Yeah, it was, because you had like that trilogy of Fifth Doctor that got broken up really, and then became the Lost Resort and Other Stories box set.
But you gained Shadow of the Daleks as well, so it's
Yeah.
weird. It's a weird one looking back at.
Yeah. And that's sort of like a funny one as well, because that's 2 releases for like 1 8-part series. I mean, what about trilogies? Which one?
We Are the Daleks and Warehouses are good, so even with a small collection, you're going to enjoy that one. I think 2015 is a pretty solid year, main range wise.
Yeah. Maybe a bit less so with Locum Doctors. Is that not?
Locum Doctors has got, on paper, great idea. I just think the execution's just not quite all there for it.
No. It's something you could have got so much more out of as well. Like, speaking of the idea of supplementary material, why couldn't we have just had a 4th Doctor adventure releasing at the same time that just happened to have McGann in it?
Yeah, that'd
like,
been
imagine
lovely.
that would have been a kooky, fun little thing to do to tie in with this. But I mean, like, the idea of the Doctor being put in their previous self's place, like, you could get a trilogy of trilogies out of that, really.
Oh, you could have done a whole year, really.
Yeah. It just seems like one of those ideas. But Big Finish love to recycle ideas like this, so you sort of have it with 40, really, don't you? But that's more just within the 5th Doctor himself. But yeah, certainly I could see them coming back to do something like that again. But at the same time, I don't seem to like mixing their Doctors and Companions at the moment. It feels like if a character is coming back, they're going to be coming back with the same Doctor they had originally. Which can sometimes work better emotionally, but other times it feels like it's defeating the point a bit. Especially when it's happening as much as it is. You know, you feel like you've had that companion with that Doctor. If you're going to bring him back, why not bring him back with someone else and give us a new dynamic to play with, a new fun combination? It's like, you know, with especially when with Big Finish, the whole point is they're going back and filling in gaps anyway. Why are you then introducing older Perry with the 6th Doctor if you're then just going to tell stories with younger Perry all the time and forget that you started an older Perry arc?
Yeah,
as much as I love what they've done, what they did do with older Perry. Yeah. Whereas at least if you bring the character back with a later Doctor or even an earlier Doctor, like they did with Charlie and the 6th Doctor, that provides something different. That's like a new, exciting combo to lure people in. Luke, you gave Last of the Cybermen a 4. That's where that clip for M from in the ABC came from. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, was not a fan of Last of the Cybermen.
I like it because of Lanky, you know.
He's all right, but in part 4 is when it really loses me. Also, 5th Doctor going into E-Space. Since he'd be in the small collection. That's a good example of doing something with a later Doctor rather than just recycling exactly what you did with the previous Doctor.
You know, I think that's quite a sleeper trilogy. Because like Equilibrium, we were like, oh, I'm not looking forward to it. Then it came out and like, whoa, this is actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah, Equilibrium definitely blew me away, that one. Yeah, I'd say like Mistfall was probably the one we were most looking forward to and probably the most disappointing.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's a quick
It's the
one, isn't it?
weakest of the trilogy, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah,
gets better as it goes on.
yeah, it is a surprisingly quick one, actually, because it's, well, like, isn't there a part that's like 18 minutes?
Yeah, part 1, I think.
Yeah, which is mad. I mean, that could have probably been squeezed onto one disc.
Mm.
More older Adric, give us that boy that time forgot sequel. He's a real villain of Once and Future.
No, thank you.
Oh, dear. Yeah, there are some things where you're like, yeah, I'm glad Big Finish decided to pretend that didn't happen.
To be fair, it's not even like the worst Big Finish I've heard.
I
Um,
feel like there's more offensive ones, and then there's just more forgettable bad ones.
yeah.
There's all like just choices that you could tell they're making because of the no, we're not recasting thing sometimes as well,
Hmm.
like in the early years, whereas now that's no longer an issue, so we can get certain stories told. Like, I think it's funny when you think the whole older Nissa arc came about because of Mark Strickson and Janet Fielding's availability. You know,
Yeah.
like they wanted to record with all of them, but they didn't want to leave out Sarah Sutton from that. And so rather than doing Tegan and Turlo stuff and then alternating with Nissa, they thought we'll just get them all to record together and do an older Nissa arc.
I mean, I'm definitely tempted just to do the whole old Nissa arc now.
I mean, you have started it, haven't you?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
it starts with
nice to.
Cobwebs, doesn't it? Actually?
Yeah, Cobwebs, and yeah, I
There's
think
something
it
else.
concludes with an entry plague, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's 15. Yeah, 15 stories, 5 trilogies. That one.
So that might be a little project I work on.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you love your Fifth Doctor, so
I do, and it's just nice going back to it.
Do you think you'd do a video on that at the end?
Maybe that'd be nice.
Either ranking them or just having a good chat about it or something.
I think so because a lot of people sort of forget about it.
And I suppose because it's sort of like in that time before we really got into Big Finish. Like that was an arc that was already well underway and just wrapped up by the time we got into it.
Yeah, it was just wrapping up when we became a part of it, really.
Yeah. Which is nice that they wrapped it up because nowadays arcs like Flip and Constance just get forgotten about. An older Perry, they sort of like rather than wrapping things up, they prefer to just leave them out there to maybe return to one day. But then by the time you finally get around to it, it sort of feels like, what's the point? But yeah, even older Nissa, it sort of feels like it's in a grayer canon area now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're in a minefield here, but just
Yeah.
with the way that things have gone since then, I mean, like you've got that whole RTD, Sarah Jane, goodbye Sarah Jane storyline with Nissa and Tegan supposedly getting together, but then Chibnall comes along and saves canon.
Yeah, again, it just proves canon's one of those subjective things.
Yeah, I think they sort of like Big Finish themselves have sort of moved on from what was that Cyberman story with Tegan in, where it was like the first time
for gathering.
Not gathering, that's it. That's one of those canon things where they've sort of like gone, yeah, we'll pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, certainly we haven't really got anything with Tegan post resurrection other than that though.
No, we haven't actually.
So yeah, now that that's been mapped out a bit by Power of the Doctor and they've got promo images to use on the cover, I think we're definitely going to get something there.
Oh yeah, it'd be rude not to.
Yeah, maybe like a Unit Freelancers box set starring Ace and Tegan. Maybe that'll be what they're going for. Unless Russell has his own plans for TV. Yeah.
Never know.
The sky's the limit at this point. Yeah, Klein's another one who's sort of like been wrapped up, but is still like floating around as could return at some point.
You've got the whole sort of Will Arrowsmith trilogy that ended on a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, but then they brought her back for the unit. What's his name? Neil from Inbetweeners trilogy.
Oh, yeah, I know which one. A Warlock's Cross.
Yeah, they brought her back for that and just sort of dropped. Did they even like have a funny little reference to it, or did they just completely drop that?
I don't remember. Again, it's nearly 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that they've again just sort of forgotten about and gone, yeah, that didn't happen, because I don't think he was very well liked. Or Will.
It was an interesting trilogy. Not bad. Just kind of all right.
Yeah. That's got like another Dalek one, doesn't it?
Daleks Among Us.
Yeah. That's the next Torchwood series.
Yeah, there we go. Cracked it, guys.
Joe Bowers, do you think they'll do a story showing how Tegan and Ace met? I kind of think not, to be honest.
I feel like it's too good of a thing not to do.
But they've not done one for like the first encounter with the Paternoster gang, or like how Jenny and Vastra met. They've not really done anything.
I thought that was done in a prequel,
though. How Strax joined them was because it was like the follow-up to Good Man Goes to War, wasn't it? When they brought him back to life and then offered him a place there.
Yeah,
that was done. I think that was a prequel made to Time of the Snowmen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That production block. But as for like the Doctor's first encounter with Strax and the Doctor's first encounter with Vastra and Jenny, that's something they've not touched. The Doctor's first meeting with Winston Churchill is untouched. Not that I think they'll ever get around to that now.
I think it was referenced in like the Brilliant Book. Churchill meeting the Doctor.
I think that's something the comics more like to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels more like a comic thing.
Finish. Yeah. I think usually it's just a case of when it's something that hasn't happened, they don't want to tie themselves down with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just nicer to have the expression that, yeah, they know each other now, and we could just have fun with that. I mean, they're a good combination. They worked very well in Power of the Doctor. Favorite minisodes and online prequels. I mean, Night of the Doctor stands out as one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dragon Bugs mentions Time Crash, which is another very strong one. I feel like they're interesting ideas, but a lot of them just come under like the forgettable banner.
They're nice bits of they do the job of getting you hyped.
Yeah, sometimes. Isn't there like that awkward DVD exclusive one where it's just River and the Doctor going for a walk in the rain?
Yeah, Rain Gods.
Yeah, you get funny ones like that you just sort of think.
I quite like Meanwhile in the TARDIS. But I think that's
is that the one where Amy sees all the pictures of old companions?
Yeah, I think it's like a deleted scene. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You sort of like think sometimes they should work better as almost short films, don't you? It feels like sometimes they should have more to say, but other times it is just good fun having a little minisode. And I mean, hopefully, if RTQ has some good ideas for some, that's something we can get back.
Attack of the Grask? I don't know. Does it count?
There you go. Shooty versus the Grask or the Grosk. Get the Grosk back.
We spit on Grosk.
Grask make me stamp my feet. I mean, I suppose it's sort of filled at the moment by the collection trailers, actually.
Yeah, I guess they count, didn't they? Really, the collection they do for like little mini episodes. But going, by the way, there's a Blu-ray release coming out. Buy
Yeah.
it.
They just feel sometimes rather fan filmy, to be honest.
Yeah, season 9 definitely does feel fan filmy.
Yeah.
It feels like it belongs in like BBV real time.
Yeah.
It has that sort of feel.
Well, it's just a trailer for a Blu-ray set. You don't need anything too high budget for that. But at the same time, it does sort of feel like maybe people overhype them and make them sound better than they actually are.
When they're all released, I think we should do a tier list on all the collection trailers and go, right,
Yeah.
which one is fan film and which one is proper drama?
To be honest, I end up more liking the ones where they are quite tongue-in-cheek and out of universe, like the Colin Baker on trial one.
Yeah.
I think
I quite like Javanka Airlines.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Yeah.
When you're getting things like that aren't trying to be like expanding the universe things, but they are just more having fun. Like the season 18 one is a good laugh.
Yeah, Galactic Tours, isn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It's all fun. But I mean, I suppose that's it for us tonight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bye, River Song.
Bye, River Song.
Family.
And by the end of it, you'll be a friend of River.
And
you'll be a friend of us. But we're all friends here anyway.
Yeah. It's a beautiful set. It certainly made us both tear up a bit towards the end.
Pulled on the heartstrings.
Yeah. Something wonderful, something different for Big Finish. So, yeah.
Not wonderful. Really. Not wonderful is Zygon when being you isn't enough review. When man. I don't know when we review it. Never. I never say never.
No, yeah.
I'd be a shill for it, you know.
if they paid us, if someone pays us.
If somebody sends a nice paycheck, then you know you might get it.
To the £100 tip on the video.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe, or maybe if we reach like a certain goal, like subscriber or views, or I don't know, we'll figure it out.
We've got our own silly little video planned for some point soon.
We've got a fair few planned at this point.
That's it's something exploded a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, literally, it's just you going, I've got an idea. We should do this.
And you're just like, yep, let's do it.
Let's do it.
But anyway, join us Wednesday next week.
Wednesday, yeah.
Changing nights for the Time War tier list.
Which you can check out on BBC Sounds. All the War Doctor stuff's being out, so
yeah,
you can. If you've not checked it out, then you can check it out on there.
Yeah, get some John Hurt in you.
I beg your pardon.
In your ears.
There we go. All right, there we are.
Listen there.
Yeah, there we go.
So that'll be covering all of that War Doctor stuff. War Doctor Begins, 8th Doctor Time War, Gallifrey Time War, all the different Time War things in one big tier list stream.
Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So yeah, we've got a finished cast in the meantime.
Yeah, that's the next project. Or, well, next listening assignment, I suppose.
That's our next mission.
Yeah.
There we go.
And if you want to know our full thoughts on the season 9 Blu-ray announcement, that'll be coming hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah, fingers crossed tomorrow. We've got like a half an hour video dedicated to it, so we'll be talking about the stories, breakdown on the trailer, the special features, you name it. We've probably covered it in that video.
Ooh. One thing we forgot to cover in the season 2 video, though, actually, is how much better the trays are now for getting a discount. They changed it, didn't they?
God, I don't know.
They have, because it's now like a little push thing, whereas before it was like all sides are connected, whereas now it's just like one little bit and it says push on it, so you push down.
Oh, I didn't know.
It pops out really nicely, whereas the other ones, obviously you still have to push down. They're a bit more similar to the Big Finish CDs, you know, the way that. Yeah, like I've just had a lot easier time getting them out compared to other ones. So.
Take that out of context. Oh,
I mean, you got your season 2 next year, haven't you? I can't actually see it now that I've got.
No. Season 2's the other side of Marie with it, isn't it?
Oh no, never mind.
So I can't check.
But yeah, certainly my copy has had the disc trays updated a bit. Yeah, let us know in the comments quickly if it's only me who's got that. But yeah, certainly I've had a much easier time with them now.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh dear me.
Also, lost 12 seconds. I suppose that's another thing we forgot to talk
Yeah, we
about.
forgot. Maybe we're not talking
Awesome
all
stuff.
things season 2. We can edit the title again. Mostly all the season 2.
Yeah, that's true. Oh well, it's been and gone now. Our chances slipped us by. But yeah, anyway. I have an updated tray too, says Stylish One. There you go. I'm not imagining things. Thank you, Stylish One, for backing me up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that is something they're carrying on going forward because just it's one of those little things that helps.
Every little helps.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I suppose sometimes it also depends like where the disc tray's glued in though, doesn't it?
Yeah, if they
Like,
sort of misalign it, or to be fair, sometimes your disc tray just magically comes apart. So
Yeah.
you don't need to worry.
I've had it detached from the back. I haven't had the whole thing fall apart yet though, thankfully.
I've never had like the bonus disc or like the last disc come out.
Yeah. You have that sometimes where you like feel it shaking when it's been delivered and you have to like push them in. Yeah. But well, hopefully as things go on, we won't have to worry about that. You know, quality control always improving. Yeah, I mean, said it about 5 minutes ago, but I think that's us done for tonight.
Yeah, that's us done for tonight. By River Song. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone who's watching on recap or replay, whatever. And if you enjoyed this video stream, leave a like, and if you're new around here, subscribe. Plenty more streams and plenty more content. My goodness, we've got a mountain of content to make and for you guys to enjoy. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
At the moment, so much of it is in the idea stage that it may not end up making it into a video. So we've had
one series is definitely because we planned it all last night pretty much. So that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly. 2023 is our year, isn't it? We're going big this year.
We're going big. I don't know if we can top the Regeneration series, but we're going to give it a good try.
Yeah, always aim high.
All I will say is biscuits.
Stylish One, thank you for a great stream. See you next time. Thank you, Stylish One. Always great having you in the chat. See you next time. Thanks, guys. This is Joe Bowers. Thank you for joining us, Joe.
Thank you very much.
Dragon Bugs. Yeah, finished my mock exams now, so I have more time for streams. It's good having you back, Dragon Bugs, and we hope you enjoy what we have to come.
Yeah, I hope your exams went well and you didn't stress, and hopefully you can unwind and enjoy yourself now.
Well, not quite. You still got the actual exams to go.
But for now, that's a future you problem. Enjoy the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Enjoy the downtime.
While it lasts.
Before the revision really starts kicking in.
But
yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you Wednesday for some Time War shenanigans. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.